So my name is Ruby Bishop, I'm 17 years old and I play wheelchair tennis for Great Britain. I've recently launched a campaign to battle against discrimination in physical education lessons in mainstream schools. And I started my campaign just after I left high school in 2020. And I started it because I know that a lot of children and young people face difficulties when trying to access PE lessons. And I know from my own experience that it's often just easier to be left out and do your own thing. And I think that definitely did have an impact on the rest of my schooling because I felt like I was almost two different people. Inside school I was disabled and I just sat out and wasn't included, but outside school I was playing wheelchair tennis, I was playing wheelchair basketball as well, and I was gaining a world ranking, I was representing this country, and like I said, inside school I'd done no PE, and that did have an impact on me. And I remember in year 7 and 8 I would make PowerPoints about all these Paralympians, and I came across Jordan Wiley's story and I saw everything that she had achieved. And I kind of looked up to her from then to start my tennis journey. And I know that as well she had struggles in school, whether that was because of PE or people just being mean, because it wasn't easy growing up being different and being in a wheelchair. And I felt like almost I could relate to her and finally someone understood how I felt.
I met Ruby a few years ago when she was competing at the school games, and I was actually pregnant at the time, but I sold her one of my old tennis chairs, which was kind of cool. I was really glad that it was going to some use. And I watched her play and I knew she had a bright future ahead of her. Now I would consider her a friend. She's a really sweet girl and I love being a very, very small part of her journey, and watching her compete for Great Britain for the first time and getting better and better as she goes on and gets older. I'm really proud of her for doing this campaign. I think it's really important that kids feel that they feel involved, no matter their background or disability or anything like that. And I feel like PE should be inclusive for absolutely everyone. It's a fun thing to be involved with, and sport in general is very inclusive. So I'm really proud of her for doing that, and I'm in full support of her and her campaign, and I wish her all the best.
I remember this one time I'd come back from having a major operation and I was in my wheelchair, and all these people were going into this building, and obviously the teacher was outside, and I kind of thought to myself, like, what are they going to do here? How are they going to deal with this situation? And they just looked me up and down and carried on their day like it was nothing. They left me outside and walked in with the class. And I don't think that teacher actually realised the impact that had on me. To feel so invisible, and that made me feel so sad. And I think that is why I'm so passionate about this change that's clearly still needed. Buildings that aren't accessible, like that should have been sorted years ago, and not including someone in PE as well. Disabled people can do sport, if not the Paralympics wouldn't exist. And I think that motivates me, like everything that happened at school motivates me to make that change. So that's why I've started this campaign, why Chloe Smith backed it, and why I'm now working with Tennisable, working with a lot of charities to work with schools and to run sessions for children with disabilities and kind of sort this problem out that needs to be fixed.